I can't believe this is episode 7, and we're doing 7 Wonders of the World, Project Wonderful style today. But I can't believe it. It's episode 7, and we've had so many adventures, and I'm really, really excited about today's adventure because we're going all over the world and getting a sneak peek of a few wonders that I've seen with my eyes that I consider wonders. There are 2 actual wonders of the world in our adventure today. So we'll tell you about those when we get to them. But I appreciate you all being here. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Sarah, and I'm a photographer. And I've traveled all over the world, sometimes with this one over here. This is my niece, Bella. And Bella is my travel partner, but also my fun fact partner in this endeavor of bringing you adventures every week. So we sit down on Wednesdays and we go through and we find all good fun facts, and she's a whiz at it on the computer. And then she's also here to answer your questions today. And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot today, and we would love it because there's so much to learn about these places that I went to. We kind of left it a little open so that you guys can ask us questions and find out a little bit more about these wonderful places that I've been. So thank you for being here, my regulars. So good to see you. And we're going to get started. All right. As we always do, we're starting with a map. And we're going to start down in South America, which we have been to a few times in the last few weeks. And we're going to go to, actually, it's called Foz Du Iguazu, which means mouth of the river, mouth of the Iguazu.
Yeah, which is large water.
Large water. And where I went with my sister, Christine, who's on this call, we went to both Brazil and Argentina to see beautiful waterfalls. So where you see the little dot there, it's right in the middle of Argentina, Brazil, and then Paraguay. We actually didn't go to Paraguay, but you can go there as well to see the falls. So we went to Brazil, and we're going to see Brazil first, and then we're going to go to Argentina and just see a few pictures of everything. So that's a little closer, close up. You can see a little closer on there. And here we are. So maybe we can hear a little bit about these falls. I have a few pictures. This is on the Brazil side.
And yeah, so the Brazil side stretches out for about 1.6 miles. And then the Argentinian side is 2/3 of that. So if that gives you a little perspective on how big it is. But the falls themselves, there's hundreds of the cascades, which is the literal waterfalls. So it's pretty incredible.
And look, there's a rainbow. There are lots of rainbows. It was actually beautiful. Every time you turned around, there was another rainbow. So it was really pretty.
And it is one of the largest waterfalls in the world, I guess, in terms of the actual height of the cascade. Yeah, and it's bordered Paraguay, Brazil, and Argentina.
So this was the path that we took to go and see the falls on the Brazil side. You could see the people are really tiny, and those falls are really large. You can't even see the full extent of how large those falls are in this picture, but they're pretty magnificent and amazing. And this is actually one of the new natural wonders of the world. So this is one of 2 wonders of the world that actually are wonders of the world, not just Project Wonderful, wonderful wonders of the world. There's actually natural wonders of the world, which were the original ones. There's new natural wonders of the world, and then there's ancient wonders of the world. Say that fast 3 times, which we're going to get to in a little bit. So these are a lot of our photos. My sister and I went on a boat ride, which was really a lot of fun. It was warm out, so it was exciting to actually go under some of the falls and get wet. We had to protect our phones and make sure they didn't get full of water. It was exciting.
And Kaisa and Emily realized that there's 7 people in the call for our 7
Oh
wonders.
my goodness, and it's the 7th episode. 777, it's a lucky day. I love it. Good observation. So now we're on the actual Argentina side, and my sister and I actually went really close to this part of the waterfalls. So it's almost like we were in them. It was so amazing, and like to look down was unbelievable. But we had to take a long bus ride, get a visa, which means we had to pay and give our passports in. It was a whole process, and we actually stayed overnight in Argentina for one night to go and see these falls. Can you travel, Kaisa has a question, or maybe Emily or both. Can you travel the entire length of the falls by boat? I am not sure about that, but I guess you could because it's the river. I think there's parts of it, Kaisa, that are not safe because imagine being at the bottom of this part, which is very, very big falls. But I don't know. Maybe we can find that out.
Well, that's what Lucy was asking us, if the boat went down the falls.
Oh, oh goodness, that would have been crazy. Like, I don't think I'd be here today if that happened. Very dangerous, very dangerous. And actually, it's a good question because when we were getting close, there's these paths, but you had to be really, really careful. It was like being on a cliff. Of course, there were fences and railings, but it was definitely dangerous. Yeah. And the other question Kaisa and Emily have is, did you go below or above the falls, or maybe both? The answer is both. Yeah, so when we were in Brazil, we spent a lot of time at the bottom. So some of those pictures you saw at the beginning, where you saw the full version of them, was more at the bottom. And then this is obviously at the top. It's at the top of the one on the Argentina side, as is this. So we did a lot of hiking along the falls, and it was falls after falls after falls after falls. It was beautiful, absolutely amazing. And lots of rainbows. Here's another one. And the last one, see, you can see the length of this. This wasn't even as big as the the first one we saw, but still, and another rainbow in the corner there. All right, any questions before we go to our next spot, which I think I gave a sneak peek on this map. Why does the two countries share the falls? Really good question, Lucy. So there's actually 3 countries that do. We only saw it from 2. So it's Brazil, Paraguay, and Argentina. And the reason why is because the mouth of the river, Iguazu River, is in between all 3 of those countries. So the falls are all along those 3 countries. That's a really good question. Great. All right, so our next location is in the United States, and I went to Yellowstone National Park, which is in Wyoming, which you can see on this map is on the top left-ish corner, and it's closed right now, unfortunately. So it was fun to look at this while I could with my pictures. And it's just amazing there. They have a lot of sulfur springs that are extremely hot. And these are some of them. And maybe we can talk about why they're steaming hot, or what's the deal with these sulfur springs, Bella?
Well, yeah, they are so hot. They actually could blister your skin if the water touched you, and they're acidic. So they're as acidic as liquid in a car battery. So you really do not want to touch this at all.
No.
As you can see the steam on that other photo.
And the steam here is in the distance, and this steam is actually coming from this. How beautiful is that? This is the prismatic geyser. Mm-hmm. And there's a reason why there's different colors in this one, and Bella's gonna describe why.
Yeah, so in the center, it's the hottest, and it's about 189 degrees Fahrenheit. And then as you go out, it gets cooler, which is funny because it looks like it would be hot to cold.
Yeah.
And there's no microbial growth in the center, therefore that's why the water's clear. And then as you grow out, more it's cooler, so more bacteria can grow, and that's why it turns the turquoise color and the yellow and into the darker orange. So that orange is several degrees cooler. And as well, the center is that blue color because when the sunlight reflects down, it scatters the rays, and when it reflects back into your eyes, blue is the most prominent color, I suppose. Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing, and you really cannot get close. As Bella said, they are extremely hot. This is as well as the first ones you saw. And when you walked along to see them, the first picture was actually from way above, so I was completely safe. But this one was a little closer. I still was far away. I used a zoom lens for this one, but it's extremely hot, and you have to be really, really careful.
Kaisa and Emily asked a great question: is can they erupt? Which leads us to our next photo.
It's like they're in our little outline here. They know exactly what we're talking about here. Look at that. Yes, they can. And why does that happen?
Well, they erupt every is that one?
Oh, so this is Old Faithful.
Yeah.
Which is a very, the most famous of geysers in Yellowstone. And this is the reason why they erupt.
Yeah, the steam and all of that super hot water escapes when the groundwater is heated by volcanic rocks, and then it explodes out. So this one specifically erupts every 35 to 120 minutes. So if you go, there's a likely chance you'll see it, and it erupts for 1 to 5 minutes in that time.
So when I went here with my friend Serena, they actually have a little office, and they time it out. Somehow they know, just like they kind of know with volcanoes, sometimes they know when they're going to erupt or when they're getting hotter. They know, they can time it out when it's going to happen. So there's a little chart that says in 15 minutes. And so you wait, you definitely wait. You want to see it. And then it's just, yeah, like Bella said, 1 to 5 minutes. It's really quick, but this is Old Faithful, and it was really cool to see. And you had to be far away. I think we were right behind the ropes there. Couldn't get any closer. And this is another angle of Old Faithful. So really, really, really cool, and a really neat wonder for me to see. And Kaisa remembers, yes, well, Lucy, yes, very cool name, Old Faithful. It's kind of like could be like a dog's name or something, Old Faithful. Mm-hmm. But yes, we when we went to Wyoming, we actually got Kaisa some cowboy boots.
Fun.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what episode you're talking about, Lucy. Do you know what that is?
I think that's a movie.
Oh, okay.
So
she runs over holes. Okay. So in this Disney movie. She runs over holes and then they can explode. Yeah, it's probably the same type of thing. Yeah. All right. Okay, so now we are going somewhere we've never been before, or at least all of us have not been together before. We're going to the UAE, which is the United Arab Emirates, which is over in the Middle East. You can see the heart here where it is. And we're going to get a little closer here. And we are going to go to Dubai, which is where my mouse is right now, my arrow. Abu Dhabi, which is right below Dubai. So I actually went to Dubai and also went to Abu Dhabi, which I love to say that name, Abu Dhabi, which is a beautiful, beautiful area. They have beautiful mosques. And but what I'm going to show you today is the desert. This was this expansive desert that we went on, and it was amazing. And what do we know about this desert? It's called
maybe gonna butcher this.
Al Khatem.
Khatem.
Yeah. And it was extremely hot. It gets into the 100s. We were there in April and it was in the hundreds. It was really, really, really hot. And we had some fun going dune bashing. Does anyone know what that is? Well, I'll tell you. So these Jeeps or SUVs actually go up and down these sand dunes, and it's almost like a roller coaster. It's actually kind of like exhilarating because you just go up and down and you bash into the sand, and the sand goes all over the place, and you go up and down. It's kind of like a roller coaster. So we went through, and this was just expansive. Like this desert was forever. And then there's a cameo of me because I needed to show you what we also did was we went sand boarding. So we basically went to the top and went down like on a snowboard, but it was a sandboard. So it was super, super fun. So this is just another picture, but look at how little those Jeeps are. They're super, super little. Mm-hmm. So just imagine how big those hills are and what that feels like super, super, much like a roller coaster, yes.
Yeah, and we checked the weather there today and it was real feel 109.
109 degrees.
Give you some perspective when we say hot, it's no joke. Hot.
No joke. And Kais is asking, did it feel like being on the snow? It actually did not. It was it was much harder to slide. So it was a little bit more work. And it's kind of weird because it was hot. So it felt weird to be boarding on hot sand. And then I had to walk up the hill. That was the worst part. I literally got down to the bottom and I was like, now I got to walk up that hill. Mm-hmm. And I was so hot, but it was really, really cool. Any questions about the desert? I think it gets up to maybe like the 120s in the dead of the summer. My sister lived in Bahrain, which is just a country or so over, a small country, and it was hot there in the summer. So I fortunately was not in Abu Dhabi during that time. All right, well then we are gonna go to where I know Emily and Kaisa are really excited about. I'm excited to bring you here too. So we are gonna go to Egypt and we're gonna specifically see the Pyramids of Giza. Here they are. These are the pyramids, and there's 3 of them, and maybe you want to talk a little bit about them.
Yeah, so they're all 3 of the pyramids are made for pharaohs, and this is one of the 7 ancient wonders of the world.
So this is our other one.
And you actually got to go in one, right?
Yes. So this is my friend, the camel. We haven't seen any camels. It's the first one. Yes. So you can see the city behind it, which is really cool to be like amongst these ancient structures, which are just so huge, and then see the city behind it. So I thought this was a cool photo to see that. And
yeah, so the one that you went inside of is 480 feet tall.
480 feet tall, and it's this one in the middle with the little bit of a different color on the top. That's the one that my sister and I went in. And when I say it's the hottest I've ever been in my life, it's the hottest I've ever been in my life. It was so extremely hot. I couldn't even take my camera in there. And we went up these very, very narrow stairs / kind of ladders. It was very claustrophobic and it was extremely hot. In fact, we were there in, I think it was April-ish, in April sometime. And we were able to go up, but in certain times of the month, you're not able to go up because it's so hot. But we went up and saw where they had buried a pharaoh, but it was so old
for him. The guy.
Yes.
So his name is very hard to say, but it's Khufu, I think. And Emily and Kaisa asked how long it takes to build a pyramid, and my research and laptop says it took them about 20 years to build each one of these, and thousands of slaves to do so. So
back in the day of slaves. And what's this?
This is the Sphinx, and a Sphinx in general has a body of a lion and a head of a human. This monument is the world's largest monument, and it's about 241 feet. So just a little bit, half the size of the pyramid.
But in this picture, it actually looks so much smaller. Well, I guess not. It looks like half the size. But I imagined when I was going to see the Sphinx, I imagined this huge thing, and it was big, but not as big as I thought it was going to be. But it's really cool looking, and I love the idea of the lion head, because it definitely does have like a lion mane. So it was very, very cool, and just amazing to see these structures that take 20 years, I guess, to build. I didn't know that. Does anyone have any questions about the pyramids? There's so much history and so much about these structures. There were a lot of camels. People took camel rides. We took a horse ride up the hill so we could see a view, one of the earlier views of the pyramids, which was fun. So Kaisa and Emily are asking, what does it look like inside? It looks like a cave for the most part. So it's getting up was very narrow, and it was really funny. So we're going up and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like not what I expected. I'm boiling hot. And then we're seeing people come down literally drenched. And we had to like be right next to them. Definitely wouldn't work right now. Right next to them, like we were sharing this little space, and we're just like, oh my gosh, we're gonna look like that. And at one point I looked at my sister and we're like, are we gonna really do this? But we did, we went up there. But it's all just stone. It's like a cave. All right, now we're gonna go to Switzerland, which is one of the most magical natural things I've seen, mountain-wise. And we went to the Alps, the Swiss Alps, right above Lake Lucerne, which is a beautiful area. in Switzerland. It's where my mouse is right now, right to the right of the pin there. And it was just beautiful. So I had to share it today because it was definitely a wonder for me to see. So this is Lake Lucerne. This is the view from the top. So we're starting at the bottom, but I'm showing you the bottom from the view at the top. So this is the view from the top, which was just amazing. It was a beautiful day. We took a boat from Lake Lucerne and went to the bottom of this mountain and took this little trolley up this hill. And this is, it's almost like this is the most straight flat it was going, even if you can believe that. The trolley at some points was literally going like up like this. It was crazy, but super fun. And yeah, it took us probably on the trolley about a good half an hour. We had to change at one spot to get up there. So.
And the lake's underneath it.
Yep, the lake is underneath it.
And that lake is the 4th largest lake in the country, stretching out.
Switzerland.
Yes.
Yep.
Stretching out 44 square miles, and it's 702 feet deep.
Wow, that is deep.
Mm-hmm.
This was a view from the trolley. Lots of good sun. There's another view of the trolley. So now you can kind of see where that trolley comes from. It's really, really down, up the mountain. I should say down the mountain, up the mountain. So it's pretty amazing. These are more views. And these are the Alps. Beautiful, beautiful. And then we took this gondola back down the hill. So we took the trolley up and the gondola down. And from the gondola, well, we also saw this from the top of the mountain, but there was this beautiful church. This is where I took this picture from, just on the top of this mountain. And I still don't really know how they get up there, but they do. It's beautiful. And this was another view. Just of the beautiful mountainside and the mountains in the background. Great. So now we're gonna get cold.
Very
So we were
cold.
hot for a little while there. We were in Egypt and Abu Dhabi. Now, yes, Lucy, it was a beautiful village. It looked very serene. In Switzerland. It looked like, oh, I just want to live there. Just drive down the road.
What does serene mean?
Serene means very quiet and calm and beautiful. Good question. So now we are going to go to Chicago. And I think you all know me. Lucy might not know that I lived in Chicago for a little while. And it was right on Lake Michigan, or Lake Chicago, as my aunt would always say. Janet would always say Lake Chicago instead of Lake Michigan. But it's right on Lake Michigan, right in the United States here, and you can see the lake right here. It's beautiful, beautiful city. And in 2014, you might all remember, most of you might remember, a polar vortex when it got very, very cold. And this is me.
Polar vortex.
We'll tell you more about it, Lucy. Trying to see how to keep this on mute here. Okay. It was in 2014, and it was right after Christmas. It was January, early January, and the temperatures got so low that they called it a polar vortex. And what were the temperatures, Bella?
The low on that day, which was January 6, 2014, was -16, and the high was -2, but the wind chill was -42. So, as you guys know, the wind itself, even on a warm summer day, can make it very cold.
Yes. So you can see I'm wearing a lot of layers here, and the lake was literally ice. So this is, you're seeing ice, and it never looks like this. Sometimes it has chunks of ice, but this was like major, major ice. You can see all of it was just unbelievable. And it was so cold. It was amazing to see people out there, like just bundled up. I mean, there was hardly anyone out there, but I was like, I gotta capture this. You could see this like no swimming, no swimming iced over sign, which was actually on a ledge near the lake. So it just was unbelievable. And this is, this white here is actually snow / ice. And this is usually the beach right on Lake Michigan. So it just looks like one big thing of ice. And I, to this day, can't believe that that squirrel is just hanging out. I thought that was funny that it was just there, and it was super cold out, and he was just finding something to eat. I don't know how. Are you, so you're asking, Lucy, if the ice fell in the lake, or
the squirrel?
The squirrel.
Or
Type
people?
it in. Well, yeah, type it in. We'll answer your question. And I wanted to show, so a few days later, it was just beautiful because everything started to melt, and the water was so blue.
Wow. Yeah.
And just really cool to see it melting. So you saw the picture before when it was all white and it looked like just expansive snow and ice, and then it got more colorful and beautiful. All right, so we have one last, because we've done 6 wonders, we have one last wonder of Project WonderFULL's world. And this was actually just a couple of months ago when I was in Argentina. If you were here on our first episode, we saw the penguins in Argentina, and they were all the way down at the bottom here where my mouse is, just above the Google, the word Google. But I then went to Perito Moreno Glacier, which is towards the west of Argentina. So even I'll also tell you that up here, where there's a little heart here, that's Brazil, but right below here, kind of, yeah, I guess it is right here, is where we were in Foz Du Iguazu. So just for reference, you can kind of see. And this is a beautiful glacier. And yeah, let's hear a little bit about Perito Moreno.
Yeah, Perito Moreno is a glacier, obviously, and it is one of the only glaciers in the world that's growing, right? Yeah.
Or stabilized.
Or stabilized. Well, because it's in a state of equilibrium, meaning it continues to accumulate mass at the same rate that it loses it. So it's stable.
Which is a pretty amazing thing, because most of our glaciers, unfortunately, are melting and going away. So it was really cool to hear that it's staying stable and staying and growing and melting at the same time. So it's staying the same, which is really exciting.
Yeah, beautiful.
Breathtaking. I know, Lucy, it was so beautiful. So these are just a few photos from one view. I actually had lunch with this view, which was amazing. I just sat there all by myself and had my little picnic lunch with this view, which was amazing. This is a close-up I took with my zoom lens. So this is some of the ice in the water There were lots of little chunks here and there, and I just thought the colors were really beautiful and just amazing to see. And then I actually took a boat, and this was the view from the boat, from one side to the other side of the glacier, because I decided to go a little ice trekking. And this is what it looked like from the bottom of the mountain. So I actually did what those people are doing. We had to put on crampons, which are these little kind of cages that you put over your hiking boots that have spikes on them so that you can walk on the ice. And it's really important that you put them on. Actually, they wouldn't let you on the mountain without crampons because you would slip and fall. There's no way you could walk up the mountain or down the mountain. And you have to walk a very certain way so that your feet don't get stuck. And you have to be very careful that you don't step on one of your feet with the other foot, because it can get stuck and you could fall over. It's kind of like wearing skis or something like that, where you get stuck, it'll just fall over. But it was pretty amazing. And we also had to wear helmets in case we fell. So it was beautiful, beautiful. We walked all the way to the top of the mountain. Well, not all the way to the top, almost to the top. And that's what it looked like. We were mostly single file the entire time. And it was breathtaking. It was amazing to be in the ice and on the mountain, on a glacier. So Lucy, yeah, I didn't go all the way to the top, but I went almost to the top, which was really cool. And that was it. Mm-hmm. That was my adventure in Argentina. So that's what we have for you today. Let's see. So does anyone have any questions about any of the 7 wonders? Those are my 7 wonders. I mean, 2 of them are technically wonders.
One
of
ancient
the world.
and
one new natural.
New natural.
But I've fortunately seen some pretty awe-inspiring things, and definitely wanted to share them with you today. I mean, as always, we really want to bring the beauty to you of the world as we continue to be stuck inside and staying safe. But I'm really glad that you guys are joining me and seeing these photos, because it brings me so much joy. And like I've been saying all along, it's just so wonderful to actually go through the photos and relive the adventures I've been on and that we've been on, and to share these photos. So I don't know what the topic's going to be for next week. I said to Bella yesterday, I said, uh-oh, I think I'm running out of topics. And then I stopped myself. I said, that's impossible. I have gone a lot of places, so I'll definitely announce probably on Friday again what the topic will be for next week. But I'm always open to suggestions, and when I get a suggestion, I follow through, right, Kaisa? We did share the pyramids today, which Kaisa was asking about, I think, on the first episode. So yep. It took me a little while. She's pointing at Emily. Emily and Kaisa, or just Emily. Somebody wanted in that household to see the pyramids. I know it. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming every week and engaging and seeing your faces. It's really making me happy and bringing me joy. And I look forward to next week. And stay safe and be well. And like I always say, if you can get outside, it's so healing. And when it's not raining, but even when it's raining, there's a lot of beautiful birds and things going on outside and waking me up in the morning, but I love it. Lucy wants to talk about owls. I can maybe do that. I don't have many pictures of owls though. But maybe I can see if there's something I can do with that and work it in. We had one owl in Costa Rica, I think. I'm not sure, Lucy, maybe you should watch, or maybe you were on that one, but I did have one owl that was in the birds episode, I believe. So there's another question I didn't see. Were the polar vortex pictures of Lake Michigan because Lake Michigan is a natural wonder, or the Great Lakes? I don't believe that the Great Lakes are a natural wonder. I'm pretty sure they are not. They may be a new natural wonder, but I don't think they're an original one. I just wanted to show you Lake Michigan because I thought that the polar vortex was a crazy phenomenon and I thought it was cool. So that's why I showed you guys that. I love owls too, Lucy, and my grandmother loved owls, so I love them. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much. It's been great seeing all your faces again, and I really, really look forward to seeing you next week. And in the meantime, you know where to find me, and and as I always say, this is recorded, so it'll be on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. So come and see it there. Kaisa and Emily, I love seeing you on Wednesdays. And I love you guys too. Thank you for being here. All right, have a great, great week, you guys, and take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.